Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be doing a best case scenario prediction for Donald Trump against Joe Biden, headed into the 2024 general election, less than 11 months away at this point, about 10 and a half months away. I'm also going to make a best case scenario for Joe Biden in the general election. But the first video I'm going to be making is the best case scenario for Donald Trump. So this is assuming that, Donald Trump, gets out of all of his criminal allegations and is no longer burdened by any sort of trial or possibility of going to jail. That Joe Biden's popularity continues to decrease and he continues to become more unpopular, especially among the Muslim community, with Biden's flip flopping support for Israel hurting him, especially in states like Michigan in the Rust Belt. Um, just everything wrong going for Joe Biden. The economy getting worse, and domestic problems getting worse. Donald Trump's popularity rising nationally. This is the best case scenario for Donald Trump as of right now, but assuming that things continue the way they are and get even worse for Joe Biden. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into our safe Biden. Actually, I'll start with the safe Trump states, just because it is the best case scenario for not Arizona. I'm not going to go that far. Forgot about that. Just because it's the best case scenario for Donald Trump. So in this scenario, Texas is going to be safe Republican. If it's a best case scenario for Trump, Trump will win Texas by a safe margin. Could be the last time Texas goes in a safe margin for the Republicans, but this would be it. Iowa and Ohio would be safe Republican states. Maine's second congressional district would be a safe Republican state. I'm going to leave Florida out of it for the moment. I don't know if Donald Trump could win by more than 15 points in Florida, even though Florida is trending Republican, but especially states like Iowa and Ohio and Maine's second congressional district and Texas, Trump will be able to win by more than 15. Margins are safe is a 15-point or larger margin. Likely is 5 to 15%. Lean is 1 to 5%, and then tilt is anything under 1%. Safe Biden states. It's going to be California. This is going to be Washington. We're leaving Oregon out of it for the moment. Hawaii is a safe Biden state. A lot of his hometown states, I guess, he's pretty popular in the Northeast. I'm also going to be leaving New York out of it. Yeah, I'm going to be leaving New York out of it. When you look at Lee Zeldin versus Kathy Hochul, that was a closer election than what you would expect. We're leaving New York out of it. For the moment, it will be a likely Democrat state. Don't expect that to go Republican. Just expect it to narrow up in the best case scenario for Donald Trump. Likely Trump states. This would be Florida. This would be North Carolina. This would be Georgia. All of those would be likely for Donald Trump. I would also include the state of Arizona. I think he would end up winning Arizona by more than 5 points in the best case scenario. Keep in mind, this is not my actual election prediction. This is a best case scenario election prediction. We see polls coming out of Arizona at the moment with Trump up 6, 7 points. That is on the upper end, the upper side of polls. We can take a look at the RCP polls aggregate, and you can see the fact that Arizona um, does have Trump winning. This is Trump +4 with the Bloomberg poll, but you have the Trump +8 poll here. You have the New York Times poll, Trump up 5. There is a chance, based off of the polling data. You obviously can argue that the polling data is historically inaccurate, especially looking at 2016, 2020, and 2022 at this point, underestimating both Republicans in certain elections and Democrats in certain elections. Arizona, in my mind, still would be that likely state. Trump would barely win it by more than 5%, but he would, in the best case scenario. Likely Biden states, that would be Oregon, that would be Colorado, that would, of course, be New York. You get to that, you get to New Jersey, you get to Maine at large. We would leave New Hampshire out of the equation for the moment for Biden, but he would get to 193 electoral votes. Heading into lean Trump states, this would be Michigan. When we look at the fact that Muslim support and the fact that a lot of Muslims live in Michigan has just plummeted for Joe Biden, given Joe Biden's original support for Israel and advocating for Israel's funding to then calling for a ceasefire. He's lost a lot of support among both, the hardcore Jewish population in the party and the hardcore Muslim population in the party. That is kind of hurting him in the fact that a lot of those Muslim individuals live in Michigan, which is a crucial state for him to win, is not a good sign either. So um, that's a lean Trump state for the moment. Another lean Trump state is the state of Nevada. Another lean Trump state is the state of Pennsylvania. Um, all of those will be lean in favor of Donald Trump, getting him to 302 electoral votes immediately already, giving him the presidency. But I'm going to leave Wisconsin out of it for the moment. I do think Wisconsin would be the closest, surprisingly, I know, out of those three, although previously it has been the one that has gone most in favor of Trump, with Michigan, especially in Muslim community. You see that happening. And then Pennsylvania as well, slight Muslim community there as well. Lean Biden states. You're going to look at New Mexico. You're going to look at Virginia, all leaning in favor of Biden. You know, although Trump is assuming he's doing well, Biden still has a lot of suburban support, especially in a state like Virginia. I don't think any significant support from Glenn Youngkin would help him in winning that state. Virginia has become kind of a stronghold for the Democrats. This would narrow up. He'd end up winning it by 3 or 4 points, but he would still end up winning the state of Michigan. Heading into our tilt Trump states, Trump would tilt the state of Wisconsin. Trump would. Now we're looking at the final three things. We have Minnesota, which I believe Joe Biden would still win, barely. Barely. The fact that Minnesota has never gone to the Republicans since Richard Nixon a very long time ago, but I still think Biden would manage to hold on barely, similar to Hillary Clinton margins in 2016, maybe even less. Looking at Nebraska second, I think that Trump would tilt Nebraska second in his favor, and I think Biden is still very popular in the Northeast. He would tilt Nevada in his favor. So the final best case scenario, and I know this is pretty similar to my current election prediction, looking at this for Donald Trump, the margins in this prediction are worse for Joe Biden. So while this may be very similar to my current prediction for the election, I think it actually is my exact prediction for the election. I don't have Minnesota being a tilt Democrat state. I have it being more of a lean to likely Biden state. New Hampshire's a lean to likely. New York would be a safe state. Virginia and New Mexico would probably be likely states. Oregon would be safe. So the margins get closer, and Texas being safe, and Ohio and Iowa safe, and North Carolina, Georgia, all of them being likely, and Michigan, that's all shifting. But in terms of electoral numbers, no, it's still pretty much the same thing, and that's expected because just how polarized the country is at the moment. You wouldn't expect much variation. For a Trump landslide, you have to win Virginia, which I just don't think is possible, and New Mexico, and probably Colorado and New York, and that's just not going to happen at this point in time. Even if it's a best case scenario, Biden would still get over 200 electoral votes. Still a significant victory for Donald Trump in this scenario. He would absolutely win the popular vote by 3 to 4 points, and I'll go on to be reelected president for a non-consecutive term, the second person only ever do this beside Grover Cleveland. Anyway, that's my best case scenario for Donald Trump. I hope you enjoyed my video. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more videos, and comment below your thoughts on my prediction, or my prediction for the best case scenario. Anyway, have a great day. See you soon.